6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. Liftoff.
Allo. What is up, friends? Hunter Klein bringing you this week's episode of Interplanetary Monkeys, episode number 38, I believe. All right. And if you guys are watching this on video, I can't wrap my head around it, but the visual quality today, for whatever reason, is fantastic. It looks like I got a new computer, a new camera. I can't get over it, guys. I cannot get over it. I had to mention that. I hope everyone's doing well. It is September 11th, 2020. And I've reached a fork in the road, guys. Okay, it is a very stressful time in my head in regards to my pathway and decision making goes. It was one of those deciding moments in my life where the choice that I make, one of those moments in anyone's life where the choice you make is the deciding factor on your future, your career, where you live, and more. It's a very pivotal moment. And I have a choice to make by next week, and that is, do I want to get a PhD? Seemingly very simple, very straightforward, but it goes so deep, guys. And if I do want to go for my PhD, if I do want to get that PhD, where do I want to move to get it? I have the ability to show the work of my master's, which will be completed at the end of this year. I have the ability to show it to some of the world's leading experts in exercise and health-related fields because my advisor is very established, and I have good faith that, we can make anything possible. I have the ability to show them my work and work for pretty much anybody right now. And the idea that there are so many more options makes this such a more difficult decision. I know they've done studies on this. I have to pull this back to science, is that when someone makes a decision, statistically, the more options they have, the less satisfied they are, or the less likely they are to be satisfied with their decision. And it seems that's where I'm at. And this is the first time in my life I've had such a confusing internal dialogue during such an important and pivotal situation. All right. Moving to Arizona was a breeze. It was 100% the right move, and there was no question about it, because it was time for the end of the Nebraska chapter. I honestly didn't care where I went. I just needed to get out. And it felt so right. There was no question. The internal dialogue was crisp, clear. But this, guys, I don't know. I don't know if I want to pull the plug on my Arizona adventure yet. I don't know if I want to end this chapter. But the opportunities I'm leaving on the table if I hold on to this Arizona adventure. An all-paid express way to a life in Australia. Working for Australia scientists in exercise science. A free move to College Station, Texas. 45 minutes from the beach or however far it is. Each holding a different field of expertise, a different environment, and just drastically different futures, guys. This would be a big move. A big move for me. And because after this potential decision, there's no way I'm making a third move anytime soon. The stress, time, money needed to make a move is just too much. It seems like this, if I go somewhere, I'm going to be there for a long time. I'm kind of picking where my life is going to start sprouting, where my adulthood is going to start. And it's just, it's been weighing on me heavy. All right, all of these possibilities, all things considered about the impact and what this is going to mean for the next 10 years of my life, has all culminated this into the most difficult decision I've had to make in my life to date, and I am honestly over fucking whelmed. And I couldn't figure out how to put my emotions into words. Right, yesterday was just a weird day. My advisor hit me with the question, next week I want you to come back with an answer. If you come back with the answer that you want to get a PhD, let's start exploring your possibilities around the world. And for whatever reason, it just sunk in. I wasn't in a bad mood. I wasn't moping around for the rest of the day, but I was just in my head. All my other problems, all my other issues, bills, whatever, disappeared. It was just me swimming through this pool that is, my future and what I want it to look like. And because there's so many emotions, because there's so many aspects to consider, I couldn't put it into words. But what I am feeling right now has been coming to me in the form of a story. Right? The story keeps coming into my head, and it describes my situation almost perfectly. Almost too perfectly. Right? So I'm going to hijack that story. I don't do this often. And I generally try to create my own image of the world, or I try to filter the world through my lens. But the story is just so spot on. And it when I heard it, I got goosebumps. I almost teared up a little bit from how accurate it was. Okay? So here it is. I saw life branching out before me like a green fig tree. On the tip of every branch, like a fat purple fig, a wonderful future beckoned and winked. One fig was a working Arizona man, comfortable and stable, raising funds for a dream. And another fig was a famous podcaster in Australia. And another fig was a brilliant professor in Texas. And another fig was New York and Greece and Europe. And another fig was Adeline and Raylan and Ariana and a pack of other lovers with unique names and off-the-wall professions. And beyond and above these figs were many more figs I couldn't quite make out. I found myself sitting in the crotch of this fig tree, starving to death, just because I couldn't make up my mind on which of the figs I would choose. I wanted every one, but choosing one meant losing all the rest. And as I sat there, stuck in uncertainty, the figs began to wrinkle and go black. One by one, they began to plop to the ground at my feet, each drop seemingly getting louder, and each drop forcing my hand closer and closer to grabbing a fig. Guys, this story hits home so hard, it's creepy. If I had to just generally give you a quick dose of how I feel about this, for the last couple days, especially after my meeting yesterday with my professor when he hit me with this ultimatum, the potential futures are like cascading in front of me like 200 LCD screens, each one showing a very different future. Right? Do I hold on to Arizona? Do I stay comfortable here? Do I follow this gut feeling of that I'm not finished? That there's still more for me here, or do I take the leap? Right? Do I use this as an opportunity to do the craziest thing I've ever done before? Right? The odd part, and this is the very odd part about this fork, this decision. Right? It could be the most simple process ever, or it could be the craziest adventure I've ever gone on in my life. Right? I could take the easy route and finally get my feet underneath me financially. Or I could just take the largest leap of my life ever and just say, fuck it. The options skew all the way across the spectrum with so many options in between, and I don't have an answer. I don't have a plan to figure it out, and I don't have a mental workaround or a perspective that can help. All right, guys, just choices, each with their own very unique storylines, each creating a very different hunter along the way. And it's just overwhelming. I have no answer right now. I have no answer. Each day, I'm each hour, I flip-flop. My emotions change. I think I have the answer, but then the next hour it flips. So hopefully soon it comes to us. Life is a wild ride, friends. And I think it's the moments like these, while stressful, a little overwhelming, they really make an amazingly unpredictable journey. And I think that's quite beautiful, friends. Another thing as of recent, guys, that I've been thinking about quite a bit is human connection. And it's a very weird thing, friends. A very strange and mystifying thing sometimes. Okay, and what I'm mainly pointing to here in regards to human connection is those rare cases where you meet someone and with almost little to no interaction whatsoever, there is some undeniable connection. I think we've all felt this at some point. It could be with a potential friend, probably talked about most with a potential mate or someone you're interested in having a relationship with, but really, I mean any other human, okay? And in these interactions, in these very weird, mystifying, unique interactions where there's no interaction, but there's a connection, it seems that there's some type of under the surface communication that can happen between humans. Right? An accumulation of very subtle cues and mannerisms that really tell us about a person. And I'm pretty certain this is what we're trying to communicate or grasp a hold of when we talk about instant connections or love at first sight or any of these, go-to terms we describe to this mystifying feeling of human connection. Now, these terms traditionally have a very floaty and unrealistic vibe attached to them. Right? We have discussions. Do you believe in love at first sight? But I think that these phrases, these ideas, they honestly represent something that truly happens between two humans that connect on non-traditional levels. Now, is it really an instant connection? No. But I think it is seemingly instant because this under the radar communication we are talking about here, this very subtle, non-traditional language conversation we're having with someone that we vibe with hides from even our awareness, I believe. It hides from our awareness in the moment, but has us leaving the conversation asking, like, what the hell just happened? Like, what was that? Like, did they feel that? Or was this is this mutual? It's interesting, guys. Right? And like I said, I think if you're still trying to grasp a hold of what I'm talking about here, I think it's most commonly used when we talk about relationships, right? And especially this love at first sight term. But I do think there is something to this. I do think there is these little things, these cues, these little things you do, maybe even the way you move your eyes, the way you have a conversation, the way you talk, all these little things stack up below the level of conversation, below the topic being discussed, and actually tell you about a person or communicate something to the people around you. And I think in rare cases, those small little cues, that accumulation of little things adds up into something that's hard to wrap our heads around. That has us walking away from an interaction with someone like, what the hell? There's something different about that person. There's something interesting. And I've been thinking about that a lot, guys. I've been thinking about that a lot. Even when you meet someone that you don't like, right? Maybe you run into someone who you get a bad vibe from, right? They didn't outwardly say like something ridiculous or say something really out of pocket in the conversation. But there was something about the way that they smirked or the way they looked at you or the way that they carried themselves. Right? So interesting to me, guys. And I'm going to be thinking about this a lot further because I've been interacting with more humans recently. I kind of sound like an alien when I talk about it like that, but I truly have. And it's been a very interesting little thing that it's newly in my pool of thought and introspection. Okay. It's interesting stuff, guys. I hope everyone's week has been fantastic. For me, I have been in a goddamn heavy rut. Okay. I keep catching myself being lazy or losing focused. And I am hard on myself about it. Here's the thing. I'm hard on myself about it. I know I am. I can see the unchecked boxes on my planner. Right? I can see it. You guys can't, but I can. And I know what's happening. God damn, it's like the most disobedient 6-year-old you've ever met. Right? And I just keep falling into the same lazy rut, friends. Right? I know what's going to happen. I witness it happen. I try to hold myself accountable, but I still fall in. I keep falling in. skipping a certain task that I need to do, you know, ignoring a responsibility that's not extremely needed, but I should be doing. And it's just not good. And because I'm aware of it, it's even worse. It's like my brain is challenging me. It's like it's trying to test me, you know? So we're kicking things up a notch. We're having a more detailed schedule for the day. Circling things that I skipped, like writing it out, like you're being lazy. Circling papers I didn't read, and so on, guys. There's just, it's been something that's culminated over the last couple weeks. There's been a slow decline, and I've talked about it a lot in regards to this podcast on the Patreon page. The Patreon is just a way for people to support the podcast, and I record an extra video a week and post it on there. It's more behind the scenes, more logistics of how the podcast is working, what our plans are. And on there, I've been talking, and you can even see it in those videos. There's been this continual awareness of a rut, right? A weird little droopy spot that just I can't seem to get out of. Okay, I can see it in my writing for the podcast. I can see it in my tasks that I'm trying to do week to week, my motivations when I wake up. It's just a really interesting times. Okay, a really interesting time, I should say. I'm just really, really trying to hold a bright light to the things I know need changed and just continually trying to hold myself accountable for them. And speaking of this idea of planners and schedules, right, I really want to talk about this. And there's something very interesting about this discussion. All right, the culture and attitude towards scheduling and planners is weird. Now, our relationship with scheduling and planning and being prepared is so weird. Okay, for whatever reason, everyone that does not use schedules or planners, right? The reason for their excuse for not their excuse for not doing so is the same for everyone that does not use a planner. Right now, I want to be clear. I also fall into this boat. I used to not schedule for this reason. All right, or I used to because I say I used to here because I plan the hell out of my day now. The night before every single day, I have a full schedule. So when I wake up, I come to my desk and I know exactly what I need to do for that day. Now, the point I'm trying to get to here is this excuse that most people make. The reason that they don't plan is because they say it makes them anxious. It stresses them out. It makes them feel trapped. Insert your version of this excuse here, but it's the same across the board for everyone that does not use a planner. Now, I understand this argument once again because I used to make it. I used to not do schedules or planners because it stressed me the hell out. My mom did it, but I didn't because it was like, what the heck? You're always on the clock. You're always in this little groove. You can't divvy out of it. But this is one of those funny things in life, guys, where it has the exact opposite effect compared to what we lazily assume, right? I have now been using a planner, scheduling out the next day every night before I go to bed for about a year now consistently. I've done it for a couple years, but just recently I took it to another level where I actually sit down the night before the day and write down everything that I absolutely need to do the next day. Right? And I did this because the more I plan and the more I schedule, the more freedom I have. Quite literally, the more free time I have. It makes bouncing from task to task more efficient. It allows you to order your tasks for the day more efficiently. And it's just overall the big brain play when trying to optimize the conquering of one's responsibilities. I go to sleep so much easier, so much more at peace, when I know that as soon as I wake up, I have everything I need to accomplish listed and waiting for me at my desk. Plain and simple. Doing this, having a plan isn't a prison. What prison is when you don't have a schedule and you spend 3 hours half-asking one task only to find out 2 hours in that you forgot about this and this and this and that. Next thing you know, it's 7 p.m. and all you have to show for it is a bunch of half-completed tasks you wanted to get done during the day. I'm telling you from experience that schedules are 100% the move and planning is the move. While it can seemingly create anxiety and be stressful and be and make you feel trapped, it's 100% the key to freedom and free time and being efficient. And I think the reason I started this process, I don't think it was because I was motivated. I think the reason I started scheduling is because I had a lot on my plate, especially at the end of my undergrad career, my bachelor degree career. I had a lot on my plate, and not writing things down made it almost impossible for me to keep track of everything. So I think this is more obviously beneficial for those that are very busy, but it 100% is effective. All right. You never have to ask what's next or what should I be doing. And you never have to ask when I should be relaxing. Because it's time to relax when I checked all the boxes. I checked all the boxes for today. I'm chilling the rest of the night. And I feel really good about myself because I did each and everything that I held myself or I wanted to get accomplished today. And so that's my method of gauging accomplishment and self-satisfaction. You know, when I don't complete those, when I am lazy with my schedule, because I don't complete the schedule every day. There's some days where it just doesn't happen, or for whatever reason I fall into the rut. Where I know I need to get it done, but it doesn't get done, and I'm really hard on myself about it, guys. So that's something that we're trying to fix. And here's another aspect of this. All right, we've talked about the competitive mindset before, and I'm going to throw it in here. Okay, life is a competition. A game, if you will. You don't go into a competitive setting willy-nilly, right? You don't go into a football game like, Frank, just run around, I'll get you the ball, dude. Okay? No, absolutely not. You go in with a solid plan, guys. You have plays. You have plays that you run after plays. Frank's not just winging it. He knows, he absolutely knows, you guys have planned it, that he's running a wheel route when the corner bites under on the out fake. Okay? Because you were ready days in advance. This is why I schedule the next day every night at my desk before I pass out. It's a goddamn arena out here, friends. And the ones that come to play take home the trophy, La Familia. Straight up. It's just the hard truth. Now, people hear me talk about schedules and my approach to things, and I've been told it comes off intimidating and controlling. Okay? And this makes complete sense because I am very controlling. I don't think this is a negative thing at all either. All right? And I am this way. And I'm aware of this tendency to be controlling because life is highly variable. No matter what way you spin it, no matter what light you hold it in, the game of life is a bit of a crapshoot, guys. If we're being honest. And in order to give yourself the best chance at achieving your dreams or reaching the goal you are climbing for, you have to control as many variables as possible. While the strong tend to survive and the hardworking tend to excel, there's a lot of fucking luck at play in this game, friends. And if you don't agree with me here or you don't believe it, I would suggest reading Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell because he explains the role of chance or luck in success very elegantly. But my point here is this. When you get to the end of the road, what is that conversation with yourself going to be like? Are you going to be satisfied? Because I promise that if you didn't control those variables, if you didn't take control of everything you could have, if you didn't do everything you could have to achieve whatever it may be, there will be a lot of fucking what ifs in that final conversation with yourself. End of discussion. All right. So this is why, again, we fall into this motivational pocket, but this is why I'm organizing. This is why I'm trying to be efficient. This is why I have this schedule. All right. This is why I'm really hard on myself when I don't check those boxes. Because it is a competitive world out here, man. And if you don't make it, if you don't control these things, if you don't organize, if you don't really try to control as much as you can, there's so many what ifs lingering there when you're taking your last breaths and stuff. and stuff. So it's interesting, guys. So I agree. People say that I might be a little intimidated by my personality or say that I am controlling. I 100% agree. And I understand why. But it's necessary. Because when you are chasing passions and in goals and dreams, you know, to you don't want to have that victim's mentality of I didn't get lucky. And I think that the way to do that is to, like I said, control as many variables as you can. Let luck play the most insignificant part that you possibly can. Okay. Guys, my meditation journey still continues. I heard a psychologist use this analogy to describe meditation to someone who was having trouble relaxing. He said, how do you get a monkey to sit still? You exhaust it. And I didn't read this before the last episode I mentioned meditation in, but this is an exact representation of what I described in my first attempt ever at meditating. And that is, it felt like I put a kid in a dark room and took away his iPad and he was just sprinting around. Okay, he was just sprinting around. I was sitting there in my head. The first 5-10 minutes was just this constant bouncing. My brain was like, what the hell are you trying to do to us? Right? And then as soon as he passed out, as soon as he got too tired, I literally, in real life, passed out. Right? So I got to work on, you know, exhausting that monkey, exhausting my brain, my little ADHD baby brain, but then kind of nestling in, sitting in that room and trying to see what can happen. Right? It's something that I've been working on. I've been doing quite frequently, and something I really enjoy and need because I don't sit down in silence enough. I take pride in. I'm not good at controlling my attention, and because I'm not good, I justify it by saying, "Well, I'm always going. The engine's always going. We never stop working. We're always doing something stimulating, growing our brain somehow." Well, I think that's beneficial in a lot of ways, and I think that's why, you know, I've accomplished what I have to date. I think it might be unhealthy, you know, when we talk about stress levels and longevity, and just being a good person to be around and hang out with, guys. Okay. We're at 27 minutes, guys. It was a good episode. I was a little floaty. It's been a weird week, guys. Like I said, I've been in a rut. I've been in a mental rut, right? I'm not getting those same regular brain blasts and epiphanies and moments where I'm sprinting to my desk to write about something. Things are very normalized in my life. Things are very flat. I'm not really thinking about anything new, and I think this is because I'm not doing anything new. I'm very comfortable right now, right? And I think I need to start taking leaps again, or at least need to focus more on getting out of my comfort zone, on doing new things, so I can think in new ways, and we can talk about new things in new ways. If you guys want to talk, if you guys want to be a part of this show, if you guys want to be involved, okay, I've said it before and I'll say it again. The IP Monkeys phone number. The IP Monkeys dedicated phone number and voicemail is 602-892-4371. Okay, I'll say that again, 602-892-4371. If you call in, if you have something in this episode or the last episode or in any episode that sparked an idea in your head, that sparked a question, that sparked a discussion you would like to have, please call in to this number and leave a voicemail. All right, and if you do that, I will plug my phone in to my computer, and during the episode, live while recording, I'll set aside some time for us to play your guys' submissions and talk through some things. All right, I want this to be an interactive experience. I want you guys to be able to get involved, and because we talk so much about thought provocation and we really get into our head so much, I really want to weaponize the thoughts that are created in your heads to maybe go more in depth in our discussions, right? Because while we work really hard to have an open perspective about things, there might be some angle that you guys have to some of these issues that I don't, and I think there's a lot of value in you guys sharing that. Okay, what else, guys? Not much. This decision the choices in life. The fig tree story, guys, is just such a beautiful representation of what I'm going through right now. I don't know if my gut feeling is right. Do I stay? My journey here isn't finished. That's my gut feeling. Is that gut feeling the right answer, or is that the comfort in me? Is that the weenie? I think the lazy monkey that wants to be comfortable in me saying, no, we don't need any more stress. We don't need any more challenges right now. Let's just chill out. Or is it the right move? Do I want to go live in Australia and spend the rest of my, I don't know, guys. I don't know. I need to flesh it out. I need to talk to some humans about it. And we'll figure it out, guys. One thing I can guarantee you is no matter where we go, the podcast will continue. I don't care if I have to fucking buy a laptop and jimmy rig a satellite to the roof of a shitty apartment to get internet connection to upload. It's going to happen. There's absolutely no doubt about it. All right, so we're continuing to question. We're sitting down, taking the time we need to make the big life choices and make sure we're making the right choices. Making sure we're not just following the path of least resistance. And then we're just trying to continually take leaps and do something truly incredible with this human experience and beautiful opportunity we've been given. All right, guys. Like I said, if you guys have any conversations you want to have, any ideas, any questions, etc., call that number. Let's talk. I want to get you guys on the episode. That's it for this week's episode of Interplanetary Monkeys. This is Hunter Klein, and I'll see you guys next week. Peace.